ladies and gentlemen, just of the interwebs out there, smashing envy strong style, cinephile, and we got a new trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. Let's geek about it for a scant few minutes because it wasn't all that much. Thor is going to be assembling a team to take on Gorr, the God Butcher, who's out to wipe out all the gods for reasons. Thor mentions Jane, who's of course Mighty Thor, has her own reconstituted Mjolnir that she's wielding in the movie. Valkyrie, Korg, and then he mentions the Guardians, but I think that's just a bait and switch type thing that they did for the trailers, because Marvel movies are notorious for altering trailers and stuff to kind of give us lots of bait and switch type things, or kind of give us things that we think are going to happen and aren't happen. Like Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer was not present for the whole like teams running at each other to battle part. Infinity War, we saw for the whole slow motion, everybody run into battle thing. It seems to be a theme with Marvel movies. When they're all running, you saw the Hulk there, but of course the Hulk is not present at all outside of getting his butt kicked by Thanos in the beginning of the movie. Hulk is not in the movie, so that was just a bait and switch that they did. It made for like a cool scene, but it's not actually what happened. So for Thor to mention that he's going to have the Guardians on the team, I think it's a bait and switch, because the only time we see footage of Thor with the Guardians is when he is in his Ravager gear, which basically makes him look like an MCU Thunderstrike. But when he's got his full costume, he's not with the Guardians. So I'm thinking, and plus it would just be it'd be too much. I mean, that's the thing. The good thing and the bad thing about these Marvel movies, the MCU as a whole, is the connectivity and the crossoverness. Stuff that we used to see in comics, and now that we actually see it play out on the screen, it's a bit, to me, becoming a bit too much of a crutch, where you can't have guys and gals like hold their own movie. Like the Spider-Man movies are notorious for this, in my opinion. Or the first one had Iron Man, the second one had Nick Fury, third one had Doctor Strange. It's like they don't believe that Spider-Man could hold his own movie with his own rogues. And it's dipping into like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, Multiverse Madness, it was a cool movie and everything. It had some little stuff, and the ending was kind of obvious where they were going to go with it. But they threw so much in it, just other MCU stuff in it. Is it because they didn't think like a sequel with Doctor Strange could hold its own water? Or, you know, that's the thing. So now we're getting Thor. It is, if the Guardians were going to be in it more than I think they're going to be, and we saw him go off with the Guardians at the end of Endgame. So we knew he was going to start with them at least. He's still, you know, big Thor. He's got to work out and get down to small Thor, which he'll do. But I think just him and Quill aren't going to mesh well together. They realize it. They're kind of just alpha guys, so they need to kind of be in their own space, where they can rule and lord over. So they're going to, after maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes max into the movie, Guardians are going to like go off on their way, and then Thor, we see him with the boat and, you know, making out with a hot chick. So they're going to go their separate ways. So long story short, it's bait and switch. His team, his all-star team, is just going to be Jane and Valkyrie and Korg, and maybe some like other little low-level Asgardians or something as cannon fodder, basically, for the God Butcher. That's about it. We saw some new sort of scenes here and there, but on a whole, there wasn't a whole lot new with this trailer. It just kind of emphasized this whole, like, he's going to get a team that's going to be, and there's probably going to be some Avengers jokes and stuff, references and stuff with him assembling his own team of like mightiest heroes or something like that. It remains to be seen, but it's Marvel. We can kind of guess what some of the jokes are going to be, some of the obvious ones. But I'm all for it. I want to see it. I'm a Mighty Thor fan. I'm not a Natalie Portman fan by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm really hoping she does a good job with this. Fingers crossed. Toes are crossed too. And hopefully it's just a good, fun movie that's just enough of its own movie, and it's not trying to do too much like world building and setting up for crossovers and this and that for down the road. Just let it be its own thing. Let's not be dependent upon building upon, you know, laying the foundation for what's coming next and do a disservice to what we're dealing with right now, which is Thor. Remains to be seen if that's how it goes. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Until next time, let us geek.